Welcome to Crochet ADHD. I'm your host, Jackie. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. You are a one-hit wonder, but I am so happy that you're here. If you're a repeat offender, a member of the GlamFam, crochet hook. Don't leave home without it. This is the March LP. Everything that I have done in the month of March. Whips, FOs, future plans, stuff I got, etc., etc., etc. So this month, I'm looking at the things that I have made and my whips, and I feel like my whips is a bit, it's not out of control yet, but it's pert near close. So we will start with finished objects. The first finished object is what Miss Hetty is wearing. I am fairly certain I have already shown this to y'all, but just in case I didn't or you missed it, whichever way, this was one of the, I called it my stress shawl because I was having some very stressful stuffs happening, and when I stress, I create. These were the yarns, the party yarn from Big Twist, and I used 4 different colorways, I believe, and made 2 shawls. Just a granny square shawl. This one is the larger one, and this one is the smaller one. It feels like cotton, even though it is 100% acrylic. I have not blocked. I did not do any blocking this month. So everything I show you is unblocked. And of course, if it's not blocked, guess what else that means? Right? Yeah. In case you were curious, I don't weave in the ends until I have blocked it, just in case I need to make any kind of adjustments after it's blocked, because I do a really good job of weaving when I do, and I don't want to go on a fishing expedition trying to find an end so I can take it apart to fix something. This is number 1. This is number 2. Miss Hetty, me. So item number 2, my spiked cardigan. And I know I have talked about it before, but it is on my FO list. I finished it March 4th, so I'm talking about it. Here it is. This was made using the Briar Pocket cardigan shawl. Nope. Briar Pocket cardigan pattern by Grace for the frills. I did put on pocket. Yay! This is 100% wool. I used the off-white. This is fisherman's wool, the natural, and the color is Wool of the Andes from Knit Picks We Crochet. I don't remember how much I used of whatever, and if I, oh, and then the dark, just the inside, yeah. The dark edging is some random wool. I might weigh it so I can tell you how many grams of yarn I used, but I don't remember the number of skeins. Anyway, still has not been blocked. I know that when I block it, it will grow and it'll be perfect, but of course the weather is changing and I probably won't get much wear out of it until, the fall or fall and a half, so close to winter. But I'm happy with it. I'm happy that I made it. I still want to make more. I want to try a different, let's see, because I've made 1 out of acrylic, 1 out of a wool blend, and 2 out of full wool. I really like this pattern. I would like it to try it in a lighter weight yarn maybe, so that I want to get, what am I trying to say? I would like a cardigan that's more, I'm going to say form fitting, just so that something that I can wear, you know, that's not so casual. Does that make sense? Words. What really are they? Next would be the shawl that I was making for MS Awareness Month, because March is MS Awareness Month, and the color for MS Awareness, how many times am I going to say awareness, is orange. And I was using a yarn cake. I think it was a Hirschner's cotton acrylic blend cake. And I was thinking that I was going to make this massive shawl because of how much yarn was in this cake. But the pattern I chose was the South Bay Shawlette by Lion Brand. And, well, here she is.
Ooh, pretty.
You can see where it's like fading into, it's getting lighter and lighter. But I was really thinking or hoping that I would get some of the color change so it wouldn't just be like all orange. But this is the full complete pattern, maybe even plus a row. And there's still so much orange in the inside of the cake that, yeah, I am a little nervous about how this is going to block. I've never made a cotton shawl. I know that cotton doesn't stretch. I know acrylic does, so the two of them should balance each other out, but I don't know how this is going to react. I do plan to make I'd love to make a shawl with the rest of the cake, which again, I forget what the yardage on it is, but it's like 1,000+ yards on one cake. And I just got a new Hirschner's catalog in the mail, and it still has the, like, you get two, I think it's two cakes for, is it $14.99? I think I want to get one, but I want to wait until I have something to make it with.
What?
I know, famous last words, but I still want to try to do that. So anyway, this is my, what did I write it down as? This is my MS Awareness Shawlette. And I think it's going to look really good for wearing this summer. It's not going to look right. I think I plan to use it a lot this spring and summer. That's what I'm trying to say. My Hip to Be Square squares for March. This is my yarn. No. Yes. Yes. This one is my calendar inspiration colorway for my square, and I used a different pattern. I can't remember what it's called. If I can, or Editing Jackie can, I'll pop it on the screen. I found it on a website. It was fairly easy. But I ended up having to add on to it because the square wasn't the same size as the previous squares. So that is my calendar inspiration square for March. This is the Judy's Creations and Crochet bird inspiration color for March. I really, really like that color. And this and this, minus the green edging, were made using, what are they called? They're not minis. Are they maxi minis? What are they called? They're like less than a mini, from Tangled Poets, Aberdeen's Wool. What are they? Mini minis? They're not mini. They're like super minis. I don't know. They're small, like this. You know, that's what I used for that. And then I happened to find some scrap. So I made 2 more. This is yarn. It's called, okay, I think it's like I bleed purple and live gold or something like that. It is by Fleur de Stitched, which is a dyer from here in Louisiana. That is this colorway, which is LSU. And this was a remnant of a YARNVIP hand-dyed yarn. I think the colorway is November Sky. I feel like that's right. I know I made something with it last year. Yeah, and it's got little sparkles in it. And these are just regular granny squares. And it's probably going to be like all of my squares are going to end up being granny squares, even though I was really planning on having different squares, but stress. So those are my squares. March was the month of the chick for me. And so I'm just going to pop in this photo here. I am so happy with the response that I've gotten over or about the emotional support crochet chick tutorial and pattern that I released earlier at the beginning of March. By the way, if you prefer a written pattern, it is available both on my Ko-fi shop and also on Ravelry. Any questions that anyone has had about the tutorial, I've been able to answer, but for the most part, people have been able to do it without any issues. They've gotten very creative with the style of beak that they've done, or the comb style, which I think is great. I think it's awesome because, again, I'm giving you the foundation or the recipe, and it's carte blanche from there. I already have an idea for another, I guess it's technically amigurumi, but y'all, let me just say this. One, I am not an amigurumiist at all. And yet I made these right there. I don't know what's happening to me because, well, wait, you'll see. When I show you I think this is going to be my last, yes, my last finished object for March. Just hang on. In the almost 2 years since I have started this channel, I'm pretty sure I have shown all of 2 blankets that I've made. One was a baby blanket that I made for a friend of mine's daughter who was having a baby. Yeah, got it. And the other one, I may have shown you, it was my scrap granny square blanket. Okay. Tell me why. I have gone down a rabbit hole on Ravelry looking for blankets, specific blankets. Lucas from Lucas Yarn, he was doing a roll the dice blanket-a-thon. Essentially, he was rolling dice and choosing colors based on the numbers of the die. And we were encouraged or invited to play along. And at first, I was going to sort of mimic not his colors because my colors aren't the same, but I was going to do like a round or okay, hold on. I don't like granny squares. I've got to stop saying that because I am proving myself a liar. I'm not a fan of having to sew in granny squares, blah, blah, blah. And that's what he was doing. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I started with a linen stitch blanket because I really like the linen stitch. However, I didn't like the fabric it was making. So I took it out. I frogged it and then I increased the hook size, started again, just didn't like it. So then I don't even know how I got to here. It's the baby, what is it called? It's a 12-point baby Afghan something. It's a star blanket. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. That was a very long story just to say this. this when I had gone and I wrote down all of the numbers of the die that Lucas had chosen. But if I was going to do like one round for each die, each number or each color that he called. But then it occurred to me he was making 120 squares, and if I was going to do a round for each of the rounds that he was doing, that would be 120 squared, or 120 times 4, because every square he was making had 4 different colors. 480 rounds. I'm not trying to blanket Louisiana. So I just decided that I was going to do, because he was doing 20 colors a week, I just decided to do five colors a week. Is that right? I did five colors a week. So I should end up with, and it was for 6 weeks. So I should have 30 rounds. Yes, 30. I laid this out just to get a look at it. And oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. Like, ever. I don't know if it's just the color selection, the randomness of the color selection, the stitch itself, or all of the above. But I absolutely love how this came out. So last night, I couldn't sleep, so I'm on Ravelry pinning star type blankets. I have created a whole bundle on my Ravelry page now for star style blankets. Now, I will tell you something that I saw, which was so phenomenal. And if one day I decide to do one of these, I want to do it in this style. People started making temperature blankets using the star pattern, and each, because there's 12 points. I don't know if this is a 12.1. I don't want to count it, but somehow they were taking a 12-point Afghan, and each little, let me see here, each, okay, God. So each little point, you see how you've got like these little things right here. So each one was 30, I guess between 28 and 31 rows, or I guess maybe if you doubled it, if you did like the high and the low. So each one had it was so neat because you make them individually, and then somehow or another you're attaching it to the blanket. I don't know. I did try really hard to curtail the depth of the rabbit hole that I went down, but it's really pretty. And if I ever go down that path where I want to do a temperature blanket, I definitely want to do this style. So this is supposed to be my blanket, because the blanket that I made for myself during COVID has been confiscated by the little black cat who lives here. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll just make myself a new blanket. Well, I had laid this across my husband's chair so I could see it, so I could appreciate it, and tell me why. Within about 5 minutes, there was a big black furry spot on this blanket. Cat people, you know what's up. Next up, whips. Start with the easiest one first, which would be my scrap fingering weight granny square scrap shawl. Fingering weight granny square scrap shawl. Sure. Okay. I think I'll put it, there is a stitch marker. I'll put a stitch marker in it after I show it to you today, and then it'll be easier for me to show you what I've added. Here is the sparkly, was it November Sky or whatever, YARNVIP, Hobby Lobby yarn right there. Yeah, because I had shown you when I showed you last month, because I had already made my squares, so I had already added the remnant to here. But here's where we are so far. Challenge sweater. That is the knit, or convert knit to Tunisian crochet sweater challenge that I have with Lynn from Nina's Knots Crochet. I did work on it a little bit this month, much more than I did last month. So yay! Here's the stitch marker to show you. This is where I was the last time I showed it to you. And here's where we are now. It is slow going because I am doing a lot of things. I'm at the armhole shaping, and I think I'm going to go ahead and just do it like a tank top. Where am I doing? Yeah, I'm doing it as a tank top. So this part right here will just be like, like this. Yeah, like that. For the back, la 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 la. And I have my stitch markers in place for, what is it in place for? I'm supposed to bind off so many stitches. What the heck? Okay, that is a downside to putting the project down, because I don't know what my stitches are for. What my stitch markers are for. I do know that I did decide that it was going to be a tank. Very confusing. So this is the yarn that we got. This is the GlamFam colorway Miami Vice that we got from Thrifts in Stitches last year as part of the I Love the 80s make along. We're doing it again this year. I know I keep saying it, but I'm hoping by continuing to say it, y'all have already gotten it marked on your calendars and you're already thinking about what you're going to make. Remember, to participate for that particular MAL, anything that says 80s to you, 80s pattern, 80s colorways, 80s song inspiration, whatever. When you look at it, or when someone looks at it, they're like, oh, yeah, 80s. Last month, we had a session where I talked about things that I had learned about myself as a crocheter. And I said that I should not test patterns because I don't like to follow patterns 100%. With that being said, I have signed up for 3 test patterns. No. Let go of your pearls. It will be okay. God, I hope. This pattern is for a crocheted cowl. Test number 2 is a shawl that I have started and frogged and haven't restarted it. I wasn't a fan of the yarn that I chose. So there's nothing to show for that one. Test number 3 is for a Tunisian crochet lace t-shirt. The pattern is by Ashley of Tiny Couch Crochet, and I'm using Arcane Fiberworks yarn. It's going to take all 4 of these skeins. These 4 are not the same colorway. I'm planning on doing them in such a way that hopefully you won't be able to tell. So let me see here. So like the blue, they go together like so. Woo! And I've started this. All the stitches are scrunched. Yeah, scrunched up on my hook. I'm sorry. Okay, so the way that this is constructed, it is made vertically, and you're doing the front and the back at the same time. I think that's right. She had to explain it to me because my mind I wasn't seeing the vision. If it wasn't for a test, and again, see, this is the first thing that would have stopped me personally. So there's nothing wrong with the pattern. I'm saying for me, you had to start with almost 200 stitches. That's the kind of stuff that makes me like low run, marathon, sprint kind of running away from a pattern. Every pattern has to start somewhere. I know logically it makes all the sense in the world. And by starting with those so many stitches in the beginning, you're covering, a lot of territory, but it makes it go slower for me. With that being said, the pattern itself, the stitches are gorgeous. This yarn, y'all, y'all know how much I love Arcane Fiberworks, but oh my God, this yarn, the color, I love it so much. I want to just squeeze it. Is yarn juice a thing? Because, oh my gosh, it feels so good. I think the yarn and the pattern together are just gorgeous. And I can't even describe to you this stitch right here in the middle, but it's fun and it's easy. So this one, I forget how long we have to make it, but I'm going to be with it for a while. And you have to repeat rows, 5 through 9 so many times. So I had to create my own little chart over there. I am really liking this. And I had to frog it because somehow or another I lost 10 stitches. And it wasn't like I was, halfway through this. I don't know how I lost 10 stitches. So I had to frog it back. But see, I'm just going to like place this in on a, oop, come on, Jackie. Get it. The colors are so pretty together. They look way different when they're caked up though. And I was freaking out, man. I was totally freaking out because I'm like, how did it go from this to this? But they go together. They go together. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That was my whips. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I got one more. I'm making what is it? It is another, another pattern from Grace for the Frills. It's a tank top pattern. It looks like the sagebrush tank that I was obsessed with last summer, but it's called the terracotta crop top. It's 7 o'clock. I think it's maybe a shorter version. Okay, it has a square neck as instead of the rounded neck. I think that's the difference. I'm going to be making that, and I will be using Wonderland Yarns Cotton Kiss, which is 50% superwash merino, 50% cotton. This is a sport weight. Let's see, Kate, I did the math. The pattern says I will need 600 yards, 700 yards. I don't remember how many yards, but I have two of these cakes. I have two of these. One is already caked up. So I should have enough. And this is sport weight. The colorway is called Thorny Thistle. Try saying that 3 times fast. I am just excited to do cotton, but not 100% cotton as a top. So this should be fun. To recap, my April is going to be Wonderland Yarns and Arcane Fiberworks Yarns. Yes, please. Next up, the future. So my future plans. There's a lot of them. First of all, actually, there's three. There's three things. There's three things. First of all, I am participating in the Dodgy Bag Mal, which is hosted or co-hosted by Claudia from Crochet Luna and Allie from Little Drops of Wonderful. Allie. Yeah. Essentially, I love that it's called a dodgy bag because basically you're making a bag, but you may not have the best skills, and that's okay as long as it, holds and it doesn't look like Paducah. It doesn't necessarily, it's not going to be a professionally made bag, but do your best, whatever. And they are matching us up with swap partners this time, and I'm excited about it. I am going to contact my swap partner, find out some of the things that she likes, and I'm going to look through my fabric collection because, yes, I have ADHD. Of course, I have a stash of various crafting supplies. I think while I'm making the bag for her, I'm going to go ahead and make a bag for me because I've been wanting to do this bag anyway. I have this pillowcase that I had when I was a kid. It is a Pac-Man pillowcase. So it's got like the game board on it and everything. And it is almost paper thin. No, you can see through the pillowcase at this point, but I want to preserve it and make it functional. So I feel like that's just the best way to do it. We'll see how that goes. So I told y'all about I want to make the being green, or it's not easy being green shawl using scrap fingering weight yarns from y'all. And I have already received some, which I will talk to you about in the stuff I got. I've already received a few already, and I'm going to go through my scraps, and I'm thinking I'll start it maybe in June because I want to have it finished before August. So June, mid-June, July, maybe I'll start it then. As y'all know, I am a brand ambassador for Wonderland Yarns. Well, I got this idea because that's what I do let me back it up. I've had several GlamFammers ask me more information about how I go about converting knit patterns to Tunisian crochet patterns. And thus far, I've only done that. Thus far, I've only done that with shawls because shawls are somewhat easy. So the sweater that I'm working on, and I have until the end of the year to do that, is definitely a step up. But I was inspired by the questions about, how to go about doing it. So I am going to be doing, I'm going to call it a series of walking you through how I go about hacking knitting patterns. I have a specific pattern in mind. As a brand ambassador for Wonderland Yarns, I wanted to use a Wonderland Yarns pattern. They do offer, nope, stay on point. So the pattern that I have chosen is this one. It is the Color Stack Cowl, and it's by Stephanie Sheeman. So the original pattern calls for 8 minis in worsted weight, which is their March hare base, and let's see, it's 100% merino. You can get an 8-piece. What? I'm not hungry. An 8 mini skein collection. There we go. An 8 mini skein collection. I really can speak English. For a total of 368 yards. However, because we are converting to knitting to Tunisian, we're going to be using fingering weight yarn, because the finished garment feel of a fingering weight Tunisian knit stitch project is equivalent to a knit in worsted weight project, because we have to go up a size. We have to do all these things because of the way the Tunisian knit stitches are made. It makes for a denser fabric. I'm apologizing to editing Jackie right now because she's going to have to make that make sense. You can get this pattern on the Wonderland Yarns website. I will put a discount, the discount code we get. I'm not sure if it works on patterns, but it might. I'll put the price here, but I'll also put the discount code. The original pattern is made in the round. However, we will be making it flat because I don't do in the round. So if you want to follow along, if you want to participate in basically creating this cowl, you will need, I'm doing it with 5 mini skeins. So it's supposed to make I've got to pop up let me look at the picture. The time has come to say farewell. How do we sleep when our head is hurting? How do we sleep while the beds are burning? Original pattern calls for 8, but I'm just going to do 5. But you can do 8 also if you want to. So this will be what we work on. And again, it'll be over a series, and I will try to break it down so that you can get a good basic understanding of what I'm doing when I hack patterns. You will need to have I'm going to say a working knowledge of Tunisian crochet. I'm hoping that this will just be a nice add-on to Tunisian Tuesday that Linan has been doing this year. So, you can consider this extracurricular. The stitches that you will need to know: the Tunisian knit stitch, the Tunisian purl stitch. That was that. Okay. I hate when I jot down partial thoughts thinking I'll know what that means, because guess what? This is future plans part 2, because this is like the make-alongs that I'm participating in this month. I already mentioned the dodgy bag mail. Oof. I'm also going to be participating in the Bag O' Day shawl along. Have y'all seen the shawl? Oh my goodness. It's gorgeous. It's huge. It's gorgeous. And I want to make it. Downside for me is it's only available as a tutorial, and I personally don't do well with tutorial onlys for reasons. The sample that she made used 8 different colors. I might can do that. I ain't got no reason not to. I can do that, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also planning to, I'm saying planning, okay. This one I'm kind of on the fence about. The mood board that Gary from Urban Yarns is doing. I have chosen my song lyric, and Not Hetty put together the mood board for me, but I don't know what to do past that because, yeah, I don't know what to do past that. That's it. Okay, next up, it's time to flip the calendar. Hey, 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 flip the calendar. Okay, we're going into April, so I'm hoping for, I don't even know, maybe flowers, maybe something pink. 3, 2, 1. Am I going to be disappointed? Holy cow. Boy, oh boy. Pink. Yes. Yes. Look at all that pink. Oh, and there's green, but look at all that pink. Oh, wow. So much pink. Let's go to the jar. These are my pickle jar, minis, maxi minis. Booyah. There you go. Yup. Yup, yup, yup. Yup. Yay. That was easy. Next up, stuff I got. I actually, what did I do? I got a t-shirt. Not Hetty. She loves her mommy. Look what she got me. I like this because it's like Mean Girls and Oregon Trail had a baby. A GlamFammer sent in 2 minis for the It's Not Easy Being Green shawl project. Ta-da! This one is from Arkansas Yarn Co. I like that. Well, y'all know I like that. Yeah. And this one is from Trilogy Yarn. Now, this colorway, I'm getting ready to date myself, but y'all already know how old I am. So, in late 70s, there was a fad that I don't know what it's called, but you had like this board and it had all these nails on it, and you would take and you would wind the yarn, you would wind yarn around these nails, all these different directions, da 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 da. Then you would tie the little pieces together and then snip it, and it would be like a placemat, but it was like pom-poms and they were all attached. My father built one of these wooden things and made a bunch of the little mat things that I'm talking about. And the yarn that he used, and it was Red Heart, but it looked like this. It looked, that's what this reminds me of. Whew, core memory unlocked. Did anybody else make those? This was definitely a 70s thing. I can't remember. And like it wasn't stiff, it was floppy, but it just looked like someone had tied a bunch of pom-poms together, and that was like the decorative piece. I don't know what that's called. I haven't thought about it since apparently then. But anyway, if y'all know what I'm talking about, please like leave a message down below. Yeah, that. Oh, daddy would buy, because daddy tried crocheting, but my father crocheted like you would think that he was weaving fabric. That's how tightly he crocheted. And you could hear, and he was using red heart. So like everything my dad crocheted stood on its own. It was weird. I think he invented amigurumi. I don't know. This is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. It is 80 yards. This one doesn't say anything about the yarn weight or fiber content. I don't know if this GlamFammer wants me to say her name, so I'm not going to. My evil twin, and do I still have the note? She wrote a note and signed it Evil Twin. I've not done that before. I don't think. Y'all can't prove it. Whatever. And if you think you saw that, you didn't. She sent me this adorable ditty bag. And I don't know what yarn this is. I know it's cotton. I think it might be like I Love This Cotton. Because if she tells me this is bamboo or bambootiful or kobu or true boo, if it's a boo, I'm gonna be real mad. But it feels like cotton. It's very soft. And anyway, she made this. This was her Make It Orange, her MS Awareness Month project, and I truly appreciate it. The pattern, I believe, is by Juan the Yarn Addict, and I'm gonna have to make me one of these. You know what I want to do? Oh, I'm a hush until I show you what she sent. Okay, so first thing in this bag is some of her hand dyed yarn that she dyed last year, and this is going into the It's Not Easy Being Green. Hold on, is that the same? Oh, close. Cool though. This is by don't we'll make it, just y'all pretend like it's beautiful, because I really have no idea what I did to it, but I'm gonna unhank it anyway. It just says Mossy socks that rock, lightweight, we're back swap. But I love this green. So far, look at our greens. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so also in the bag are 2 balls of, here we go. I'll show you one and I'll hold one. Sharing is caring. Okay, Queensland Collection Walkabout Organic Shetland Wool. It is a number 2 fine. 100% wool, 157 yards, 144 meters. It is a 3.25 to 3.75 millimeter needle or 3.5 to 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. Made in Turkey. This colorway is called pea green. So the idea that I had was to make one of these out of this and felt it. Wow! An awesome project bag. Nothing's going to fall through. I like this. I will definitely have to check out Juan's pattern. I made one like this years ago, except it was much smaller, and I made it for my daughters when they were little, and they could wear it on their wrist. That was back when I was on Crochetville. Did anybody know Crochetville? I'm really dating myself, but I'm a nice person. Of course I'm going to date myself. Oh Fire Co. the hook company, they were having a sale on their Oops hooks. And, you know, that I'm assuming, looking at the hooks, that the Oops were the way the paint, whatever, laid out. They were on sale for 50% off. I got two. I accidentally got two the same size. Here's what. They're both 4mm or G hooks. And here is this. Now, I know it's messed up, but I like it. It reminds me of those pins that, you know, there'll be like a boat inside of it, and you move it this way or move it that way. And this is the other one that I got. I think for forevermore, I will just buy the Oops ones, because this doesn't bother me. And I have started using this with the cowl, the test cowl that I'm making. And I love this hook. It is lighter than the Furls hook, and I do have the Furls resin, but it's lighter. I was worried that these markings here, what do you call it? The line, whatever that is. I was worried that was going to irritate me, but I have no problem with that. And I'm sailing right along. It has a nice point on it. It might be a skosh too pointy, because I do stab myself a lot. If y'all ever, I know that there's another Furls type company. I can't think of the name of it right now. I feel like it starts with an O. I have not used theirs or tried to use theirs yet, but I like these like a lot. The packaging. First one I got, it came in a tube like this. This time, I'm guessing it's because of how thin the hook is. It had this extra padded ring, which if you knit, I think it can also work as a stitch stopper. So they had that on there, and then it was, you know, tucked inside of this tube, which is padded on the bottom. And then you've got this to pad on the top. Furls really needs to up their container, because the box, it's just a box. But then when you try to open it, there's no way of opening the box without destroying it. So I'm saying this is great. Love this hook. That is it. I'm saying that is it. Like, that's it. That was a lot. I've got a lot of things to do in April. So how was your March? Did you get much accomplished? March felt like it took a long time. Yeah, I wanted to show you a couple of the greens that are in my jar that I'm contributing to the It's Not Easy Being Green. Woo! That's greeny green. I think I'm going to contribute these three. Let me make sure that, yeah, I'll still have plenty for my shawls. I mean, for my squares. There. All right. If you like this video, please like this video. And if you want to stick around and become a member of the GlamFam, you can do that by clicking on that subscribe button right there. And don't forget to rock that notification bell. Until next time, I've been Jackie.